Welcome back, everybody, to Everybody Needs a Nudge. We took a summer hiatus.
You did.
What do you mean I did?
Some of us had to work.
Well, I'm saying the podcast. I also worked. But Root Beer, you would have been impressed. All the people were looking for the podcast all summer long.
Yeah, we know that.
Yeah. But so, you got to...
commodity.
What's the saying?
Absence
Let them
makes
go.
the
Yeah.
heart grow fonder.
Absence makes the heart grow fond. I also heard another one said, if you love somebody, set them free. But if they come back, that means nobody else loves them, so set them free again.
I don't think that's how that goes.
But it makes sense, right?
That's exactly how it goes.
I mean, it makes sense,
Yes.
right? You let somebody go, they go out there to find somebody else, and nobody likes them. They come back to you. See you later. Sorry, sister. It's not gonna cut it. No, but I had a good summer. Did you have a good? I got Keithy with me.
Hi.
So we got a little bit of a different format today. This isn't going to be a consistent format, but this got some new employees here at Crowd Lending, so we're going to get them some airtime. But Keith wanted to sit in on the opening here.
Summer recap.
Yeah, summer recap. How was your summer?
It was great.
Yeah,
How was yours?
it was great. Did you do a lot of fun things?
I did. Yeah, I spent some time on our boat.
Okay, good, good.
Did some fishing.
Did you catch anything?
No, we didn't catch a thing.
You were at soccer fields a lot though, huh?
Soccer, baseball this year. Yeah, baseball was the big one.
For Finny.
Vinny, yeah.
How's Jenny doing?
She's great. Still
Yeah.
alive.
This is a win.
She's
That's a win. What about you, Root Beer and Johnny? What's the update? No ring, huh?
No ring.
What is going on, Johnny?
No.
Johnny, if you're listening,
I know.
I don't think he listens though.
He doesn't.
He's not a listener.
No.
Wow, imagine that. You'd think that if you wanted to protect your girlfriend's job, you'd listen to the boss's podcast.
Right.
Yeah, Johnny, if you're listening, it's time. Johnny just got a new gig too. Well, he's still with the state police, still Johnny Cops, but what's he doing now?
Crime scene.
Wow.
like a tech.
Dun,
Like
dun, dun,
he
dun,
goes
dun,
to crime scenes
dun.
with dead bodies
Yeah.
and fingerprints and takes
Yeah.
pictures and DNA and
Dexter.
he's Dexter.
What's Dexter?
That's a HBO show.
Oh, never saw it.
But he's a murderer.
Who is Johnny?
Johnny is?
No. Dexter's the murderer.
Oh, but then he goes and investigates the murders?
Yeah,
So he kills him and then goes and investigates them.
Mhm.
correct.
But he only kills bad guys.
Correct.
Oh, so he's like a Robin Hood type
Right.
character. A lot of pressure on Johnny though. Like he's gonna have to go testify now. Like this is a high stress job.
It is.
Yeah.
I hope it doesn't desensitize him.
To murder?
Yeah.
To killing people.
Yeah, because then he could kill you.
Right.
Yeah, you're living potentially with a killer at this
Right.
point. Would you agree with that?
I would agree with that. Yes. Yeah. I couldn't have said it better myself,
Yeah.
actually.
You might want to move out.
Maybe.
Yeah. So I had a great
I
summer.
was just going to ask.
Yeah. I did a lot of things that I normally don't do right from the beginning. So I saw something somewhere. Actually, I was talking to a friend, and he said something to me at the beginning of the summer, like maybe it must have been June because our boat was in the water. And he works down the waterfront. He said it's very easy to say no. Right? Someone asks you to do something. The easy answer is no, I'm not doing that. I'm not going to do that. And so when he said that to me, it resonated. He had a heart attack, and so he said, I'm just not going to say no anymore. I'm going to do things. So when people asked me to do things this summer, I did them.
A yes man.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm not a yes man. You know that about me. I'm definitely not a yes man. I've said yes in the past, but I went camping.
You did go camping.
I went camping, which I think we talked about. I went whitewater rafting. Okay, that's a little out of the ordinary for me.
Wakeboarding.
I went wakeboarding.
Whoa.
Yeah. Now, I did grow up, full disclosure, I did grow up water skiing. My grandparents had a place on a lake in New Hampshire, so I knew how to water ski, but I had never wakeboarded before. So I wakeboarded this summer. Have you wakeboarded?
I have.
What do you think?
I like water skiing.
Yeah,
better.
way better, right?
Yeah.
How'd you feel after you went wakeboarding?
Yeah, so I pretty much broke a rib and bruised my back and had to go to the doctor. So
good.
yeah, I felt
Good.
great. Yep, still kind of suffering from the pains of it 3 weeks later, but I'm 47. A lot of old men get injured thinking they're young. I think that's part of the problem. I was out there thinking I was, a movie star. And the other thing is, so here's the bad thing about phones, okay, and cameras, among other things. When I was out there, so I water ski, so I wakeboarded, and I knew I was struggling with the wakeboard. Like you could tell, right? I didn't have that natural body position. I didn't look smooth, But then I water skied after I broke my rib and bruised my back. I decided to go back on the water and water ski. And when I was water skiing, I thought I looked incredible. I was like, I got it. I look amazing. But Hank was on the boat and he was videoing the whole thing. And then I watched the video.
Laughing.
I look awful. I look like an old man trying to water ski. But in my head, when I was out there, I had my hair was flowing. Like I had a whole situation going on.
No, I know.
Yeah. Girls were like cheering on the sidelines.
Been
And then I
there.
saw the video and it just crushed my soul. So but I went to Provincetown, took the boat to Provincetown.
That's fun.
Yeah, I went up to Rope Marine. Did a lot of fun things.
Wild Man Dan.
Yeah. Won a couple of golf tournaments, no big deal.
No big deal.
Yeah. Won the Tobin for all you Hatherley members out there. Tobin champ. Big deal.
It's a huge deal.
Yeah. But at the end of the summer, I had to bring my oldest daughter on a couple of college tours, and that's a little bit of a eye-opening experience.
How'd that make you feel?
Old. Proud, but old. That's she's gonna be leaving the house in like a year from now. She'll be gone. Hopefully never come back. Right? You don't want them coming back. Did you ever go back after college?
I didn't.
Yeah, me neither. Did you?
Yeah, I'd go back now.
No. Did you go back to live after college?
Yeah, I think there was a time there.
A long stretch?
No. I was at home though.
Yeah.
Until I had enough money to buy something on my own. But yeah.
Yeah. You
I
also
like once you have that independence, you can't give it up.
Yeah. I didn't go home. But it wasn't like it was an open door for me to go home. They were done with my nonsense. Plus, I was the youngest of four.
They had enough. It was time.
Yeah, it was time. And Keithy and I were talking earlier, the dichotomy of our lives. What did Jenny do? What was going on with Jenny at school yesterday?
She fell asleep at school.
In class.
In class.
And what did she say to the teacher when she woke her up?
I was sleeping.
Like,
She's honest.
as if like, I'm going back to sleep.
Right. I'll come back in 20 minutes. I'm sleeping.
I'm sleeping. It's just a little different than where I am in my life.
College and first grade.
Yeah. First grade's fun though.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
First.
You don't think so?
No, I do. I remember it fondly.
All right. Here's a good question. Can you name your first grade teacher?
Oh man, it would have been Sacred Heart in Kingston. I want to say it was Sister.
I feel like you can make up any name, right?
Sister Catherine.
Sister Mary Kate McDermott. I think that was her name.
We could either Sister Jacqueline or Sister Angela. This would have been first grade.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I don't know my first grade teacher. Do you?
Miss Wilkie.
Right? You just know like
She
second
was
grade?
the sweetest. Miss Masucci.
Third? That's where they lost you.
Yeah, I didn't like my third grade teacher though.
Oh,
I
wow.
forget her name, but she was.
You didn't like her.
I didn't think she didn't like me.
How can that be? How can that possibly be, Root Beer?
I'm talkative.
Everybody likes Root Beer.
A little talkative.
Yeah?
A little bit.
All my reports said little too friendly with his neighbors.
Yeah, I was too friendly with my neighbors.
Doesn't live up to his potential.
I've never gotten that one.
Really?
No.
You always lived up to your potential?
I still do. I mean,
That's amazing.
Exceed.
Still does. So what we have in store today, so that was kind of the summer recap.
yeah, it's quick summer.
Yeah, they always are, though. And now we're back, full bore. So we've got 5 new employees, but we're only going to talk to 4 today. Little short stints, get to know them a little bit. But we got a new sales team here at Crowd Lending.
That's exciting.
Yeah, it is. Turning the page. But I got a couple dad jokes. You want to hear some dad jokes?
Always.
Please.
I got a couple dad jokes, and I got the This isn't really a dad joke, but this is something that I picked up along the way. And it's the only time incorrectly is spelled incorrectly is when it's spelled incorrectly. The only time incorrectly isn't spelled incorrectly is when it's spelled incorrectly. It's amazing.
That's a good one.
You like that one?
I like that one a lot.
Yeah, it's
a
good,
lot.
right?
I'm going to use it.
Think about it, though.
I am.
Yeah, it's hurting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, good one. What's the next one?
That wasn't really a dad joke. That was just kind of like a...
Deep thought. That was good.
Yeah, Deep Thoughts with Jack Handy. Remember that?
I do.
Saturday Night Live? Do you remember that?
No.
But I do love Saturday Night Live.
Do you?
Yeah.
I feel like it's gone way, way down.
It turned a little too political.
Yeah. I mean, back when we were watching it, the actors were unbelievable. And actresses. Now they're kind of...
It's just a feel-good show.
And it's on at 10 o'clock now.
Is
right?
it really?
Is it?
Yeah, 10 or 10:30 or something. It's not...
11th. Wasn't it 11:30?
Yeah.
Saturday nights?
Yeah, maybe even later. All right, so my next dad joke. I lost my wife's audiobook. Now I'm never going to hear the end of it. That's some funny stuff.
That's good.
What's the German word for constipation?
I'm not sure.
Yelling.
Far from pooping. Do you know what the German word for a bra is?
No.
Stop them from flopping.
I think you can just say it with kind of more of an accent.
You do it then.
I don't have any German in me.
Stop them from flopping.
Much better. See, that's much better.
Much better.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, should we run that one back?
No.
No.
That was good.
Yeah?
You gotta add the accent though.
Stop them from flopping.
That's perfect.
Right?
Yes.
Nailed it.
That's pretty good.
Nailed it.
Yes, that's all I got for dad jokes. We're not really going to get into any current affairs. There's a lot going on. But I don't care about current affairs. Do you?
No.
You?
Current affairs within the company or
No.
outside?
National, international.
Yeah, a lot going on.
Yeah. Do you care? Honestly.
Right now, no.
Yeah.
No. But yeah, you should care.
You should. You're a man of the military.
Man of the cloth?
No, you're not. I'm not a man of the cloth. No. No.
Some might think so.
Anyway, so who should we get in here first?
I don't know.
Do you know their names?
Do I know their Yeah, I do. Matt.
Yeah, get him.
Hold on, I'm trying to get their names. It's Matt.
Yeah, I know them.
Matt. O'Grady's the last name.
Sam.
Sammy. Finley's the last name.
Patrick.
And the fourth one,
Polo.
Marco. That's it. I got him. Great guys.
Yeah. All good guys.
All good guys. Young, eager.
Let's get him in here. Let's introduce him to the
What are we waiting
everybody
for?
needs a nudge world here.
Let's do it.
All right, go get him. Yeah, go get one of them.
Okay. Do we gotta get a chair in here?
Yeah, you're gonna move that.
Sit
Are
in
you
my
staying?
lap? Yeah, I'm staying.
Oh, okay, great.
We'll be back.
Right back. Oh, commercial breaks. We've
Commercial
never had
break.
commercial
Commercial
breaks.
This commercial sponsored by.
Crowd lending for all your lending needs.
Nice.
Crowd lending.
I was gonna go with like Sportsworks. Maybe we can get a couple T-shirts or something.
Oh, if you're ever in Duxbury and you need anything for fishing, skiing,
Paddle.
paddle, tennis, or just a nice golf shirt, because they have those there. I got my father one.
Great flannel shirts also.
Yeah.
Ooh.
See Sportsworks. It's right on Tremont Street. Mike Murphy.
Yep.
Great guy.
Great spot.
Knows how to fish. Fix your fishing rods. I fixed mine. Sportsworks. Make sure you head in there. Okay.
And cut.
You're supposed to go get them during the commercial.
Oh, sorry.
The first of our 4 guests today, one of our new loan officers, loan originator. What are we calling him? What have we decided?
I actually like a loan officer.
As opposed to originator?
I do.
What do we put on the business cards, Matt?
Loan originator.
Oh.
I'm out.
Might need new cards.
Matt Pedoni. Matt, how you doing, bud?
I'm good.
Good,
How are you,
good.
Dan?
I'm well. So first question Matt asks is, hey, is this PG? Like right where his head's at.
I just want to make sure.
Yeah,
I
no.
don't wanna cross any
No,
lines.
I appreciate that because we usually do a little spiel right at the beginning when we have a guest, right? Hey, we're not going to talk about religion. We're not going to talk about gender. We're not going to talk about politics. We're not talking about any of the hot button items.
No hot buttons.
So the point behind the podcast is, the name behind the podcast is Everybody Needs a Nudge. Nudge is my nickname because my last name Nigerian. I did not write this book, but you've heard the speech. So the idea here is to sort of give everybody a background of how you ended up sitting in this chair on a hot Thursday afternoon in the middle of September. So where were you? Where were you born? Where'd you grow up?
So I was born in Worcester, Mass. Lived there probably until I was like 6, 7 years old, but then we moved right over the line into Holden.
Is that that's like the move, right? The Worcester to Holden move. Is that the?
I mean, I guess. I mean, you'd have to ask my parents that one. But yeah, no, I did everything in Worcester though besides high school.
Okay.
I played most of the youth sports in Worcester. I went to college in Worcester. I went to Assumption College, which is now Assumption University. I went to elementary school in Worcester. I went to middle school in Worcester.
Okay.
So yeah.
So who was in the house with you besides your parents?
Just my brother Richie.
So older or
Richie,
younger?
Yeah. He's older.
All right.
Yeah.
How many years older?
He's about 3.5, so his birthday's coming up. He'll be 35 in about a week.
Okay. Is he still local?
He lives in Marlboro.
Okay.
Him and his wife just bought a house in Marlboro.
Nice. Marlboro's got a big hockey rink in Marlboro.
Yeah, New England Sports Center.
Yeah. Oh, it's
Yeah.
a big boy.
Yeah.
Have you been up there, Keithy? I don't think you have.
Not for a game. No, I've been there for sure.
You have?
Yeah, but never coaching. No.
Got it.
No.
Got it. All right. So you're coming up through the ranks in Worcester. What sports did you play then? It sounds like sports were a big part of your life.
Yeah, big time. I played football, basketball, and baseball all the way through high school.
And where'd you go to high
I
school?
went to Wachusett Regional.
Okay.
That's in Holden. So
All right.
it was pretty much either go to Wachusett or St. John Shrewsbury. And
What's the joke? Holden joke?
Richard Hertz.
oh yeah, yeah.
You got to keep it
I'm
clean,
sorry.
bro.
I just the whole time I got this thing in my head, and I'm racking my brain here. Like,
Come
what was
on.
that joke? Holden joke. What was it?
Immediately. We're not even 3 minutes into
I'm
it.
sorry.
It goes right off.
I'm sorry.
But yeah, that is the joke.
Richard. Yeah. All right.
So is there no Worcester High School?
No, there's 5 of them.
5 high schools in Worcester?
Yeah, yep. There's
Wow.
1 vocational and then 4 public. I mean,
Yeah.
They're all public, but one of them's a vocational school. But we were in the Holden line, so I could just go to Wachusett.
Got
So
it.
It was pretty much either Wachusett or St. John Shrewsbury. And
And St. John Shrewsbury is private or
yeah,
Catholic.
Yeah, like that's the school I wanted to beat.
That was
yeah.
the school you wanted to beat. So
Yeah.
that's like a
Like an SJ Prep, a BC High.
BC High,
CM.
CM. So why did you choose Wachusett over St. John's?
I just grew up hating St. John's.
Really?
Yeah, all boys school. I don't know, pretty entitled. So, and I kind of grew up on Wachusett stuff too, because my dad was the assistant principal there for a while.
Okay.
So when I was in school, my dad was my assistant principal.
So there you go. There's a little nudge right
Yeah.
there. He
Yeah.
went to Wachusett because his dad, right? There's a little nudge.
Yeah, so
Nudged him in that direction as opposed to over to St. John Shrewsbury.
yeah.
Okay, so you do 4 years there. Were there any teachers there, any coaches there that sort of stuck in your head as someone you want to pick up the phone and give a call to right, now that you...
Oh gosh, I mean, I still see a lot of them all the time.
Really?
Yeah,
That's Worcester for you, right?
yeah,
They
it's pretty tight knit. One of my dad's closest friends, he coaches it, or he used to coach at St. John's. He's a retired teacher, but he also does carpentry. He actually does fix and flips.
Oh, does he
So
really?
he was just building a deck at our house for like the past 3 weeks.
And
so.
what sport did he coach?
He coached football.
Was he your football coach?
No, he hated me because I beat St. John's.
Oh, he was coaching at St. John's.
Yeah. So Mr. Farraco is somebody I'd give a phone call to.
All right.
I know he's doing a fix and flip actually right now.
All right. And the St. John's rivalry, did you guys play on Thanksgiving? Was it
No, it was just, again, we were the biggest public school in Central Mass. They always had the best program. We could never beat them. It was like Wachusett had to beat them in football for like 30 years. And
Yeah.
then my junior year, we took him down.
Took him
And
down.
then my senior year, we took him down.
Wow.
Yeah. So,
No big deal,
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
No
We're
big
living the
deal.
glory days.
Hey, those are the best days, right? Keith, those are your best days,
100%. Oh, well, some would argue like recently.
right? Maybe the last 4 years since you've been in a crowd.
What position did you play?
I was
Football?
a running back.
Okay.
And then I returned punts and kicks too.
Had the ball in his hands,
Yep.
scoring touchdowns, beating St. John's Shrewsbury. That's
Not
what it's
wrong.
of. It's all been downhill since then.
Yeah, pretty much. My years at Assumption weren't bad, but yeah.
So why did you choose Assumption? Assumption.
To be honest, they kind of chose me. I was getting recruited a lot, but you know, when you're short and you're white, it doesn't really. It's kind of hard to get recruited. I was getting looked at by like a lot of 1AA schools. But again, you think you're really getting recruited, but you don't know that you're really like third or fourth on their chart.
Yeah.
So if they get one or two, then they kind of just stop calling.
Yeah.
So I ended up at Assumption.
They were the
Yeah.
last ones still calling.
Yeah, it was kind of them and one other school.
What was the other
It
one?
was Wagner out on Staten Island.
Yep.
So
Yep.
it was, and I didn't really like that campus. And
How come?
I don't know. I just didn't like it. I went out there with my parents, took a tour and stuff. It just really wasn't for me.
So they say, and I mentioned this earlier before you got in the room. I just took a couple college tours with my daughter, and they say that that's usually the tell, right? The kid knows when they walk on the campus if it's the right school for them. So when my daughter walked on UVA, she loved it. When we went to Tulane, she was like, "Yeah, it's okay." So
Yeah.
obviously that's an important feeling. Keithy, did you have that feeling when you were getting recruited for hockey?
I did. Every place I went, I had Wallace is it. Every single one.
Will you take me? Yeah, I'll come. But you ended up at Fairfield,
Yeah. Oh yeah.
right? Because Ryan Murray was there, obviously.
100%.
Yeah.
Back to you had mentioned something about the actually the Assumption football is actually good.
Well, yeah. So
Good program.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Well, when I got there, we were not that great. And then at the end of my junior year, we got Coach Chesney, who is now the head coach at Holy Cross. So he showed up, and we went from kind of just like middle of the road, 500 pretty much every year, to one of the best D2 programs in the country.
Yeah.
Almost overnight with this guy?
No, it took about 3 years to win our first conference championship. But again, I had already graduated.
Sure.
So it took about 3 years for him. It was his third season. He won his first conference championship, and then he banged out a couple more. They were one play away from hosting the national semifinal at Assumption.
Really?
Yeah, they got very good. One of his recruits is actually playing in the NFL right now. This kid Deontay, he plays for the Bills, played for the Saints.
And is that coach still there?
So now he's at Holy Cross. So now Holy Cross is
What?
one of the best 1AA schools in the country. He's won like 5 Patriot League championships in a row.
So they're playing BC on Saturday.
Correct. And
BC
BC's
better watch out.
Yeah.
And I went to BC.
Yeah, they're only an 8-point favorite.
Is that it?
Yeah.
So I read somewhere that Holy Cross has beaten, what is it, FBS, 2 FBS
they
teams
beat
the last
Buffalo.
2 years.
They beat Buffalo last year, and they beat UConn. So, yeah,
What's the line on that game?
8 -8.
I like Holy Cross.
Yeah, you gotta take Holy Cross.
And I went to BC.
It'll be interesting.
Yeah. All right. So after Assumption, what happens?
Oh gosh, after Assumption, there was some guys who graduated a few years before me who were working at this staffing firm. So I got an interview there.
So there you go. There's the sports little nudge, right?
Yeah.
You go where the guys are.
Yeah.
See if you can't recreate that locker room,
Yeah. So,
right? I mean, that's essentially what it's about.
yeah. So I was there, doing a sales job, just like making like 70 plus cold calls a day. Hated it, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
It just wasn't my thing. I was calling for like lathe machinist and CNC machinist.
I have no idea what that is.
Yeah, it's not important. It's not important.
Do you know what it is?
Sure.
Yeah. So then I got a close family friend wanted me to go work for his IT security company. So I did some channel stuff for them. And then it was kind of around that point where I was, really wanted to start looking into real estate. I did some sporting goods stuff. Didn't really go great. So eventually I got offered a job out in Chicago to get into real estate. This was my mid-20s to be a leasing representative for a landlord.
Yep.
So I was doing commercial office out there. And honestly, I loved it. I was probably doing a portfolio close to, I don't know, 350, 400,000 square feet out in Chicago in the burbs. And then I did well out there, so they let me come back to Massachusetts. But there's just there wasn't that much room to grow.
Yeah.
There wasn't that much money involved because, it's cushy, but there's not a lot of upside financially.
Yep.
So that's when I really started to think about getting licensed and, going down that path. And then potentially getting into, commercial and all that stuff. So that's pretty much been
That's been the path.
yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
That's been the path. Now, when we met in the interview, there was a girl involved. Is there still a girl involved?
Yeah.
Put you on the spot.
Yeah.
Love it. Look at Root Beer. This is, by the way, so she was over there like this. As soon as I said girl, she perked right up. You see her?
It was the response.
She was half asleep over there.
It's a long.
Might want to cut that response.
Yeah.
That was terrible.
It's a long story.
Is she short, quick answer? Is she coming here or not?
I don't know.
Fine.
I
We'll
don't
leave it
know.
alone. We'll leave
Coin
it.
flip, I think. She says yes. I don't really believe her. I don't know. We'll see
Okay.
what happens.
All right.
I
so-
met her when I was in Chicago.
Right.
For all
those
the
that don't-
listeners.
Yeah. See, he's
Gotcha,
catching on.
gotcha.
For all the tens and tens of listeners out
Yeah.
there.
We're rooting for you.
We
Oh,
are.
thanks.
And Chicago girl, whoever you are out
Yeah.
there. I'm sure this will reach Chicago. I don't know that it reaches past the driveway.
My phone's probably already ringing.
So now here you are with crowd lending. It's first week of training this week.
Yeah.
How'd it go? How do you think it went?
I thought it went great. Again, I've done some residential sales, like we were talking about my brother's house. Like I repped him as the buying agent for that. I'm selling my aunt's house right now. So I feel like I've got, a little bit of an advantage already coming in.
Yeah.
Especially just getting licensed in 2 different states, going through all that, taking the test, doing all the studying. I haven't really dealt with hard money before or private money. So
We can call it hard. I like calling it hard
all right,
money.
we'll go with hard.
Yeah.
So no, it's been great. I've learned a ton
Yeah.
already.
Yeah.
So it's been good.
Good. Well, we're happy to have you. We appreciate you coming on the show. I look
Absolutely.
forward to the next year or so to see how your business grows. Because at the end of the day, you obviously have the support system of crowd lending, but it is your business that you got to grow. And much like if you were just doing residential real estate representation,
Right.
you got to grow your business. You got to grow your brand. So we got Root Beer over here, Amy Root Beer,
Hi.
on the marketing side to help you out. So hopefully we get you rocking and rolling.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
All right, bud. Thanks for stopping by.
All right, guys.
Appreciate it. Welcoming our next guest, 2 of 4. And by the way, we're not going in any particular order. I want everybody to know that, okay?
Or are we?
Dun dun dun.
I don't know. Did you ever work for an employee that plays games like that? I was trying to hide the ball.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
You did?
Yeah, everyone has, I think.
No, not me.
No.
You didn't know.
Because he was hiding the
You're
ball.
hiding the ball.
Well, we got Patrick Findlay here.
Yeah,
Patrick,
happy to be
say
here.
hello.
How you doing? I'm Patrick Finley.
All right, we got a couple rules here. The only rules are we don't talk about religion, we don't talk about politics, we don't talk about gender, anything that's sort of a
All right, yeah, I got you.
like
Yeah.
a hot, button. What are they called? Hot
Trigger.
Nailed it.
Yeah, don't want to trigger anything.
hot
here,
button
yeah.
issue. Yeah, hot button issue. So we're just gonna kind of take you through, let you tell everybody your whole background here. So let me ask you, where were you born?
Yeah, so I grew up the youngest of 3 in Hingham, Massachusetts, down the South Shore.
Yeah,
Nice
South Shore
town.
action.
Yeah.
Fancy.
Yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. It's a little bit of it's a well-known town, but
sometimes for the wrong reasons.
yeah, sometimes for the
well,
wrong
I wouldn't say
reasons.
that for the right
Right
reasons.
reasons.
Yeah.
People are just
Yeah.
jealous.
Jealous, yeah.
Yeah.
I would say the town. A lot of people come from good people come from Hingham. So
I agree.
I'll say got a lot of good personalities.
I agree. So you're the youngest of 3. What's the makeup? You got 2 older sisters
so
and an older brother?
So my sister, my parents had my sisters earlier, like mid-20s. They're 10 and 7 years older than me. So
Okay.
we lived in Abington with my little sisters, my older sisters for a while. And then they bought a property in Hingham, built a house for 2 kids. And a year into living in the house, my mom was like, "Oh, I'm pregnant." So out came me. I was a little bit of I call myself a surprise.
No, you
Yeah.
were a
Gift.
Yeah.
from heaven
Yeah.
A
Yeah.
blessing.
bestowed upon your family.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
I'm sure they feel that way, don't they?
Yeah. My definitely mama's cub.
Yeah.
Anytime my dad was yelling at me, those car ride homes from hockey games, I'd be like, "Hey, you better watch out, or else I'll tell mom." But then, sometimes I would sit down and shut up.
Yeah,
But, yeah.
I know the feeling.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Some
Were you a
great
mama's
memories.
boy?
Oh,
Yeah.
still am.
Really?
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
So, did they do anything to the house to fit you in there, or they just
So
stick you in the basement?
luckily they built my sister's rooms like pretty good size. So, my sisters learned to love each other because they shared a room because of me. Yeah.
Oh, baby.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Wow.
Shared a room and a bathroom. That lock came off the bathroom pretty quick. I'll tell you that.
I bet.
Yeah.
I bet.
Yep.
That's a situation.
Yep.
They
Yeah.
thought they had it made, right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
7
Oh,
and
yeah.
10. They got their own big rooms upstairs, and then the younger brother comes and screws everything
I
up.
screwed them. But
And what are their names?
Meg and Beth. So
And Beth is a state champ, right?
yep, they both are actually.
Really?
So my dad won. He started the girls' high school hockey program at Hingham High.
Yeah, I know him well.
Yeah, he from the ground up. He won his first state championship in 2008, maybe 7. Both my sisters were on that team. That actually was played at Harvard back then.
Yeah.
It was before girls and boys played at the Garden. And that was my sister Beth's freshman year and my sister Meg's senior year. So that was the
That's pretty neat.
first ever title. I was at that game, pretty cool. And then my sister Beth's senior year, she actually won it at the Garden. So
Okay.
yeah, she's the champion, big champion.
So
in the
he's
family.
got, your father's got 2.
He's got 2. He did 19 years. He retired 2 years ago from it. I think he still misses it, but yeah, he ran a drought spout until he retired. But
Yeah.
he got close.
Yeah, he had a good coaching career.
Yeah.
So as you're coming up, the world just gets smaller and smaller. You mentioned that you had played hockey for a prior guest, Root Beer. Was that amazing?
Amazing.
Yeah, Coach Flaherty.
Mike Flaherty.
Flats.
Flats.
Mr.
Great
Hockey.
dude. Yeah.
Mr. Hockey, the
Oh yeah.
Duxbury High School boys hockey coach now.
Breathes hockey.
Yeah.
Great guy. I'm happy for him. That was really cool when he got the Duxbury High School hockey coach.
Yeah, he's he enjoys it. I talk to him almost daily, but I just think how small the world is.
Yeah.
So, other than Mike Flaherty, coming up, did you have any other coaches or teachers or anything that sort of influenced you along the way?
Yeah.
And it doesn't have to be hockey. It could be history. It could be mathematics. We had a guy that liked the mathematics teacher. Remember?
Yeah. I would say my high school. I mean, I don't want to just stay on hockey, but I would say my high school hockey coach, Tony Messina, very well known figure in Massachusetts hockey. Great dude. He taught me. He was a great hockey coach, but I think he was not trying to, but he taught me a lot of good life lessons. Like how it's gonna work after, like outside of the rink and stuff like that.
Yeah.
How you're gonna work your way through some ups and downs, and trying to persevere a lot.
Yeah, Tony's a good guy, good
Yeah.
coach. So there's and then from Hingham High, where do you go?
Hingham High. I went to Sacred Heart University down in Fairfield, Connecticut. My oldest sister went there. At first, it wasn't one of my top schools.
Yeah.
My top school was Fordham, thinking in, but whatever.
Their loss.
Yeah, their
Yeah,
loss.
exactly.
But then, I didn't want to go too far, but I wanted to go far enough.
Yep.
I would say. So like a couple schools in Connecticut, like Quinnipiac, UConn, Sacred Heart, and Fairfield, ended up coming down between Fairfield and Sacred Heart, and no offense to Keith, I didn't choose your alma mater, but I chose Sacred Heart. I my sister met her husband there, and I like the way the school is going. It's really impressing me, so I chose Sacred Heart. Ended up loving it.
Yeah.
Yeah, played club baseball there
So
for
how
2
was
years.
how was the club baseball experience?
So that was an interesting experience. I showed up. So I decided to go with club baseball because I had such a great high school hockey experience, and a lot of big hockey family. So hockey was everything. But what it came down to was games at club hockey games are at 9 o'clock at night on Fridays and Saturdays. So yeah.
How about that for a nudge?
that's,
I'm not missing my social life to play hockey.
As much as I love hockey, I was like, there's always men's league after college. And,
Yeah.
But so I decided to do club baseball. I showed up. It was the tryouts for the first week. I'm like, I think at club baseball at Sacred Heart, this is going to be like intramurals, and show up 70 kids at tryouts for a 30-man roster. I'm like, oh God. And luckily I made the team. I played. It was actually pretty intense. I had 6 coaches, so I was like, this is a lot.
Right.
four practices a week, double headers Saturday, and a 9-inning game Sunday. We traveled to schools like Drexel, played BC, U Delaware. So yeah, we got to see some pretty cool schools. It ended up just like, COVID hit. It came like kind of a, uninterested. I ended up joining a fraternity. That was
Social life seems to be getting in the way. Patrick.
I was
I quit hockey to hang out with my friends, and then I quit baseball to hang out with my friends.
Yeah, I was very.
He's gonna quit work to hang out with his friends.
Yeah, and my dad showed me Animal House in 4th grade. I was like, he's like, don't tell your mom. But I ended up doing that, and I did not just do it for the party aspect. I thought of it as actually a good a resume booster, not a resume booster, but a great way to be a part of something that
network.
I thought mattered, and it was a good network. I mean, 80 kids in one organization from all over. I met some of my best friends. It was awesome.
Yeah.
Being on in charge of something big group of kids it's something I'm proud of, and
What fraternity was it?
Pi Kappa Phi.
Pi Kappa Phi.
Yeah.
Is there a hand signal?
I was gonna say, or like a chant.
I feel like the name is a chant.
Don't they
Pi
have hand
Kappa Phi.
signals?
Yeah, they do have secret handshakes. I to be honest,
can't
I don't
tell you
know.
what it is.
I'm sworn to secrecy. No, but I don't know.
He could tell you, but it'd have to kill you.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so when did you graduate?
So I graduated last May. Yeah.
Wow, so you're fresh out.
Oh yeah, fresh.
So
Fresh
just
meat.
Yeah.
2023 graduated?
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
Wow.
Yep. 4 years. Did it in 4. Just kept on track.
Good. And now you're here.
Yeah.
You had your first week of training. What'd you think?
Yeah, I loved it. It was great. I love the group of guys that I'm with. They're all nice guys. It's yesterday being in the car with them, we got to know each other. Even there's a lot of downtime where we're just sitting and waiting for the next step. But we just been getting to know each other, and different backgrounds, different ages. It's been really good to meet them and meet you guys. You guys have been awesome. So
Good. That's what we like to hear.
yeah.
I love that.
Yeah, it's nice. Well, we're happy to have you. We're hopeful that we can support you on your journey because, as I said earlier, this is at the end of the day, you're part of crowd lending, but it is your own book of business that you got to build.
Mm-hmm.
We'll try to give you the tools to do that, and we look forward to the next 6 months and beyond.
Yeah, I'm excited for this opportunity.
All right, cool.
Hopefully I'll be a recurring guest.
Thanks for coming in. See you, bud. We got our third guest. This is a record for Everybody Needs a Nudge. 5 guests we're going to have on the show today.
Wild.
Yeah, crazy stuff.
Crazy.
Sam O'Grady, welcome aboard.
How's it going?
Good,
Thanks
buddy.
for having me.
Yeah, how you doing?
I'm good. I'm excited.
Good. You look it. He looks excited, doesn't he?
He certainly does.
Brings a nice energy into the room.
Really
Okay.
does.
Right? It's just like everybody just kind of perked up in their seat.
I like
Couple quick rules here on the podcast. We don't talk about politics. We don't talk about gender. What else, Keithy? Religion. Any of the hot button items that might get somebody triggered or canceled or
uninterested.
yeah. Nobody wants to listen to my views on anything really.
Save that for the after hours show.
Do we have an after hours show?
Yeah, we should.
Ooh.
Everybody Needs a Nudge after hours.
No, you got Dan and Keithy. You're gonna add
Oh, you're coming
well,
in.
It's an after,
Nudge and Keith after hours.
Yes.
Got it.
Yes.
Okay. So the idea here, Sam, is to sort of go through your life a little bit here. It hasn't been very long. And sort of talk about whatever little nudges got you where you were, like any coaches, anything like that. So we start right from the beginning. So where were you born?
All right, I was born in Mount Kisco, New York.
Oh, baby, that's a twist right away.
Oh, I didn't know
I
that.
thought he was going to say Hanover.
No, was there. I was like 1, I think, when we moved to Connecticut.
Okay. I didn't know this.
Then I think I was 2 when I moved to Pembroke, and then like I ended up in Hanover at like age 4. So
Okay.
like as long as I can remember, I'm in Hanover.
All right, so you're from Hanover.
Yeah.
You're from Hanover. And who was in the house in Hanover with you growing up?
Well, it was just to start. It was me, my mom, and my dad, and then my sister Annalisa was born in 2006, and then my brother was born. What are they? Oh, 10, are they 10s?
2010s, yeah.
Yeah. So 2010. So she's a junior in high school. He's a 7th grader now.
He is, yeah. Yeah. And you're the oldest.
I am the
A
oldest.
lot of responsibility with the oldest.
I know. A lot of firsts.
Yeah, a lot of firsts. Big brother, little brother looking up to the big brother. Got to take care of the sister, make sure she's protected. Keithy, you're an older brother, right?
I am, yeah. 2 younger sisters.
And a younger brother.
Yeah, a younger brother, yeah.
Yeah, you number 2 in your house?
I am, 2.
Yeah.
Real quick, what's the that shirt? What brand is that?
Southern Tide. It's the best. I
like
recommend.
that.
It's cool.
Sharp.
Wow.
Yeah, see that?
I saw it.
Nice shirt.
Yeah, it's a good looking shirt.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, I kind of took that a different direction.
Well, I
Real quick. Who are you wearing?
Yeah. I feel like when Joan Rivers just got on the show.
Kid's got a nice shirt on. I want a nice shirt.
Poor Joan Rivers, R.I.P. though. She's
dead?
dead. Yeah, she
Oh,
died
yeah.
like 8 years ago.
Wow.
Crazy story. You want to look it up? It's crazy.
Aren't they saying she was killed?
Yeah. We can't really talk about
can't
it.
talk about it. Guidelines, the rules.
Yeah, but Google it. Joan Rivers' death. Shady. Said some things about the
We're not talking about it.
Illuminati?
president. Yeah. Next thing you know.
Oh,
Yeah.
right. Yeah.
The light bulb went off. So growing up in Hanover, I know you played some hockey. We got another hockey player here, Keith. You were a big hockey player.
Yep.
So are you, Danny.
Yeah, well, I was a little guy that played hockey.
Right.
Yeah. Those who can't coach. That's the saying. Did you get that?
Got it.
Okay. Any other sports growing up?
Yeah, I played lacrosse for a little growing up, and then tennis was a big one for me. Just in the
Really?
summers. Yeah,
Wow.
I played a lot of tennis in the summer.
Who? How did you get that nudge into tennis?
Probably my nana. I want to say
Okay.
my.
Just shocked to hear they have tennis courts in Hanover.
Oh, it's not in Hanover.
Obviously. I'm sorry.
It's at the Situate Yacht Club. So like I grew
There it
up
is,
playing
sorry.
there.
Yeah.
My dad was in those tennis lessons growing up, and then we ended up in them.
So your father was taking tennis lessons?
Oh yeah, you got to give him heat about that
Oh,
later.
I will give him heat about that. I'll see him tonight. So tennis and then hockey was the kind of the main sport.
Yeah, hockey was the main one growing up.
And he was a goalie.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I was.
So a little, man after my own heart. My daughter's a goalie. Did you know that?
Annabelle?
Yeah.
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 I
So
miss her.
yeah, she was here for a couple times this summer.
Cup of
Great.
coffee.
One of the best interns we've had.
Yeah.
Yep.
For a cup of coffee. And so where did you go to high school?
I went to Hanover High.
Okay.
I was there all 4 years, and then played some high school hockey here and there. Did some skiing,
Yeah.
played tennis, and then
Did you play on the tennis team at Hanover High?
yeah, I did.
all right.
I didn't do it my freshman year, and then I had some buddies that were on the tennis team, and they were like, "Try it out," and I did. It was actually really
Oh,
fun.
there you go. There's a little nudge, right? The friends come over. They want them to
There
play
you go.
tennis.
It wasn't like a serious sport for me, but I ended up being like a 3-year all-star, so that was good.
It's great.
No big deal.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no big
yeah,
No big deal.
yeah, that was cool. That was cool. I was like, little certificate at the end of the year. It was
Yeah,
great.
it's nice, right? At the banquet, everybody claps. You know,
Yeah,
hey,
it was fun.
league MVP, league all star. So then you go through your 4 years at Hanover High, and you got to decide on college. So where do you end up?
Yeah, I ended up at University of Colorado Boulder.
Okay, that's
was-
pretty far away.
Yeah, it was fun. I ended up touring there my junior year with my grandmother when I was visiting my dad's sister.
Okay, they live out there.
Yeah, they're right in like the Denver area, so it's like 45 minutes away,
Yep.
which was nice and easy to get to. Went over there, toured Boulder and Denver, figured out I wanted to go to a big school. And then from there, I applied to all big schools. Like, it came down to Syracuse, Tennessee, and Boulder.
Okay.
And then everywhere I went, it was like, oh, Boulder has this, Boulder has that. And my dad was like, can we stop traveling?
Yeah.
So I ended up picking Boulder. I was like, that's the school. Did a lot of skiing out there. It was the best time.
So you were comparing. You're saying when you were on other campuses, you were comparing them to Boulder. You
Yeah,
kept coming
exactly.
back to Boulder.
Yeah, like I especially remember when we went down to Tennessee. I was like looking at everything. It was an awesome school. I absolutely loved it. But then my dad was like, "Oh, this is so sweet," and I was like, "Yeah, Boulder has this," and he was just like, "All right."
Yeah, enough. Well, you wouldn't have been able to ski in Tennessee, right?
No, I think they do have some mountains over there though.
Yeah, but I don't think you're skiing on them.
I don't know. Probably not.
No.
Definitely mountains in Tennessee.
Yeah. Isn't that? Is there a song? No, that's West Virginia, right?
Where did Damon's kid go, Brody?
He went to.
Is it Boulder?
Yeah. Or did he go to Colorado State?
Colorado College?
No, is that a place?
Yeah,
Sure.
Colorado College?
it's a
Great school.
It's a really good school.
Couldn't get in.
I didn't even try applying.
Why? Is it hard to get into Colorado College?
It has like a 10% acceptance rate. Like,
Really?
my nana wanted me to tour there, and I was like, "There's no reason for me to tour there."
So I think the very big nudge in his life is his Nana.
Definitely.
100%.
That's the third time he's mentioned Nana in,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know, 8 minutes that we've been on.
She'll be happy to hear that.
Yeah, she got to make sure she listens. Everybody needs a nudge. Hi, Nana.
Hi,
Exactly.
Nana.
Hi, Nana. So you go out there and what do you study when you're out there?
I started in finance, and then going through, it was like looking at some business. Like, I was meeting with my advisor. She was like, "Oh, you can take this many business electives, or you can like declare a second emphasis." So then I asked her like which ones I could take. She was like, "Oh, you can do accounting, you can do marketing," and then she was like, "We also have a real estate emphasis." So I was like, "Can I try the print? Like, we have these principal classes where you can like basically try it out."
Yeah.
So I did the real estate principal class. Had this awesome professor,
What was his name?
Professor Curtis.
Curtis.
Yeah, he was great.
Yeah. Made you fall in love with the subject.
But I loved it. And then once I declared it as an emphasis, went through all my major classes, I liked it way more than finance, honestly.
The real estate stuff.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Yeah. There you go, Professor Curtis. There's a nudge.
Well, it's that, and the take a class just to try a class. I wish I had that.
So that's the other thing, and now I go back to keep talking about Annabelle. My other kids are going to get jealous, but she's the one that's going to college. She wants to go to a school where you don't have to declare your major until your junior year. Is that how Colorado was?
So ours was end of sophomore year, I believe, but
Okay.
I got in like the exploratory program basically, so it was like you can try all different things, but I knew I wanted to be in finance, so I took you don't really start in a major, so like I took my finance classes. It's like macro, micro, and then stats, and then this.
That all sounds so boring,
Yeah, it was.
right? You're like, oh my God, I have macro
and-
economics.
Yeah, you do it, and everyone like hates business for a little while, and then you get the cool classes
Right.
essentially.
The professor's just up there like this. And go get the balance sheet on the third page, right?
Pretty much.
Oh my God, kill me now.
Yeah, the monotone was great.
Yeah. But then you had Professor Curtis, who was
Yeah,
just
he was
keeping it
awesome.
real.
It was awesome.
Yeah, a little nudge over to the real estate world. And now here you are. So you just graduated too, right, May?
Yeah, just graduated in May.
And you were skiing, what'd you tell me, 150 days a year or something crazy?
50 plus a year.
50 plus
Wow.
days a year
Yeah.
skiing.
Yeah, it's
That's
some of the
nice.
best mountains. It was awesome.
Yeah. How about that for a life? Take a
How about
class, ski.
Ski. Whatever class you want.
Right.
Ski.
Yeah.
Yeah, during COVID, during the Zoom classes, we would take them at the mountain.
Oh my God.
Just at the top.
Like we
Yeah.
were in the
Wind
lodge.
Class looks great, Professor. Amazing, right? Everyone's got masks. Stupid COVID. They're trying to bring it back.
Oh,
COVID.
it's back.
Can't
So
talk
bad.
about
Can't
it.
talk about it.
Nobody cares. So now,
Cares.
so you graduated in May, and now here you are with crowd lending. How was your first week?
It's been awesome. I'm very excited to get out there. New experience for me, so I'm excited to try it out, see what's going on. And I don't know. I'm very excited overall.
I can tell. I mean, you could just like, let's go, right?
Yeah.
I mean, fire it up. Are you nervous about getting out there and just talking to people about something you have no idea what it is?
Slightly like nervous about getting out there and talking to people, but like I'm just, I don't know, trial by error sometimes. So
Yeah.
Right.
you got to get out there somehow.
I think that's a great way to look at it. I think you got the perfect attitude. We're excited to have you here. We're gonna give you all the tools that we can give you, but at the end of the day, you got to build your own business. So we wish you luck. Thanks for
Thank
stopping
you.
by, and we'll catch you on the flip side.
Perfect. Thank you for having me.
All right, buddy. Our last guest on the 5-guest podcast today, not in any particular order. I want you to know that, Marco, okay?
Thank you.
Marco Vieira. Marco comes to us from Florida, but we're going to get into who you are. So, but a couple rules we're going to lay out real quick.
Okay.
No gender, no talk about gender, no talk about politics, no talk about religion, no hot button, anything that's going to get anybody triggered or canceled. Okay? Keep it
Marco's
clean.
out.
Yeah, keep it clean.
Let's go, Keith.
So
I got this.
just roped you in. Keith's on my side. We'll start with where were you born?
Here, in Boston, Massachusetts, but I don't quite claim that.
What do you mean you don't quite claim that? I feel like you're embarrassed by it.
Not embarrassed, not at
Okay.
all. It's actually because when I moved there, I kind of like, I was born here. Then I went to, people started talking Massachusetts talk to me and
Yeah.
things that I was not familiar with. To
Yeah.
me was Peabody. To me was Barnstable.
Yeah.
It was bow doing, and I was like, I don't want to say it because then people are gonna talk to me like I'm from here and I'm gonna be lost.
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah,
I
yeah.
was like, you know what? I'm from Florida.
So you're from Florida.
Yeah.
So you were born here, and how old were you when you moved to Florida?
I moved to Brazil first. My parents.
Jeez, there's a
yeah,
there's a twist right there.
I've been
huh?
around. I've been around.
All
I
right.
wasn't on the application.
Yeah. No, but check out the paperwork. It makes sense at the end. Me.
So how old were you when you moved to Brazil?
I think it was 2 years old. I don't remember much from here, so it's part of the reason. But my parents still live here for a long time. My dad moved there. I believe he was 17 from Brazil.
Yeah.
So he was here for a while. They had me a little bit later on in life. My mom, I think she was 18.
Yeah.
And they were here for a while, and then they had me, I think, in their 30s, and so they were here for quite some time, and had me here, and pretty much hopped on a plane, went to Brazil. My dad's dad was much older.
Yeah.
My dad didn't get to experience him all that much, so he wanted to go down there and spend some time with him
Yeah.
before passing. My mom's sister wasn't doing very well as well, so it was just kind of like the perfect opportunity to go back. I was able to experience life in a different country.
And now you were an only child?
No, I have two sisters.
Are they older or younger?
I have an older sister and a younger sister.
Okay.
I'm a middle child.
You're a middle child.
Yeah.
So we've had a little bit of everything. We've had oldest, middle, youngest. I don't think we asked Matt. Matt was youngest. Youngest of two. I don't really count that.
Doesn't count.
No. You got to have three or more to be considered oldest or youngest.
Yeah.
So how long are you in Brazil?
I was there until 2010, I want to say. 2010.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how many years was that?
I was there for roughly around 9 years.
Oh, okay. So you
Yeah.
were like 11 or 12 when you came back.
Yeah, I was 11 when I moved here. I moved here in 6th grade.
And when you say here, you mean Florida?
Orlando, Florida, yeah.
Okay. So you moved back to Orlando, Florida with your family.
Yeah.
And so you're my son's age, so like 6th or 7th grade or something like that, right?
Yeah, 6th grade. Towards the end of 6th grade.
Towards the end of 6th grade. And so, and then you go to high school in Florida?
Yeah, I did.
Okay.
Cypress Creek High School.
Okay.
4 years.
Okay. Now you have to tell the story because I tell it. I think it's the entrepreneurship of the story about how you were making some money in high school with the cars.
Completely on accident. I'm not no protege or anything. Completely just an opportunity that came around. My father was working at Honda at the time. Oh, I'm sorry. My father was doing window tinting at a car dealership. I don't know if I can name drop, but
You can name drop.
I can
Honda.
name drop.
That's the sponsor for this week.
Honda.
You need a nice car. You need a 4-wheeler. You need an ATV. You need a motorcycle. You want a snowmobile,
Minivan.
Yeah,
Go to
they
Honda.
got it all. Honda. They got jet boats, whatever you need. Lawnmowers, right? Snow blowers. It's an amazing company if you think about it.
Huge.
Anything with an engine.
It's anything with an engine. It's really amazing. But anyway,
Very reliable too.
yeah. Honda should just be paying us, right?
Oh, they better put money in my pocket. My father was working at the time, and because of that, pretty much was the only reason why I was able to get a first car, because he was able to get, he was able to buy the cars at trade-in value before putting the car out there. They asked employees, anybody want to claim this? Anyone taking this before it goes out there? And that's where I got my first car. I was in high school. Grew up with my dad. My dad had a car wash in Brazil, and he would always buy cars and sell them. And he would I remember him writing with like this white pen on for sale and his phone number. And like nobody in Brazil quite did that I remember. And like I remember that standing out to me. So it was just almost like instinct. I was like, for sale. And I was in high school. All the kids around me were buying cars, you know, and they were looking to get affordable cars, which cars can be pretty expensive nowadays. And started making some money.
So the first car, you bought a car and that was going to be your car, and you just wrote for sale on it.
Yeah, it wasn't. So pretty much the cars that were coming in are trading cars. Not all of them are the best. So my dad I didn't get to pick and choose what I wanted.
Yeah.
So it was like, my dad was like, oh, it's a 2001 CRV, got 75,000 miles. And I was like, wow. Yeah, like reliable. I'll stick to that. I want to get a car with high mileage. So, but it wasn't what I wanted. I didn't want an SUV. I wanted a cool sporty car.
Sure, of course.
As a kid,
You're
of course.
17 years old. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I wanted the Mercedes coupe. That was my dream.
And
And
you sold them off until you got it.
Yep, I did. And then next thing you know, the kids at school started paying attention. They're like, okay, what car you got now? I was just always in the different car. Next thing you know, make my way up to, this is when I feel like, okay, I made it. It felt like something good, because up until then, it was mostly just the older cars, which is what I'm into, honestly. But eventually this was in 2015, 2016, I got a 2014 Camry. It was a 2-year-old car. Oh my God. I felt like I was on top of the world. It had like a little screen and everything.
Died and gone to heaven.
Oh my God. I was like, my car has Bluetooth and a backup camera. I made it. So it felt great. And then.
And so you'd buy the car, drive it, sell it to a buddy.
Yeah. I wasn't posting on Facebook at the time. I was mostly just writing for sale on it, or the kids at school. I had, plenty of resources. All the kids in school, everybody's getting their license, and it's Florida. You gotta drive. There's no such thing as you turning 16 and not having a license.
Yeah, you have to have your license.
You gotta have a license. You're gonna have to drive. It's not like here in the city where you can just walk. You get your license a little bit later in life if you want to. You have those options. You don't. There's no such thing as public transportation down there, because it doesn't. There is, but it doesn't work. You can't rely on it. So you're pretty much forced to get a car at a younger age and learn how to drive. And I was in high school. I knew kids. I knew a decent amount of kids, and
I love
it was
it.
an opportunity to make money. And my dad was the source, and it worked out.
That's great. That's great. And so you do that all the way through high school. And then after high school, you start you start a business, right?
A little bit later after high school. So that was after high school. I just pretty much just working in restaurants, trying to come up with I moved out of the house, so I always enjoyed having a side job to make sure I can take care of my bills. I love stability in a way. So at the time, now I became more of a risk taker a little bit later in life.
Yep.
But at the time, I love the stability of having the money to pay my bills and not just solely relying on making the car flip.
Right.
So I did that, worked in restaurants, was able to learn a lot of things, meet plenty of people, and it's Orlando. So you worked right outside of Disney. I worked at Uno's, Universal for the most part.
And you were bartending there.
Yeah, serving, bartending, and just meeting people from all over the world. It's a great experience. It's great relationship building, and just took that and ran with it and kept buying cars off Facebook. At one point, once not too many good cars were coming through at Honda, I had to get cars somewhere, somehow. And then eventually I had enough money to take the risk to get a place with me and my pops. I was trying to get him into it. He wasn't quite having it. He didn't stick to it. He ended up opening up his own window tinting shop.
Yep.
And it was great. We're both into cars. It was something to bond over. Ended up opening up a dealership in a hotspot. I would say I wanted to pick a good location, pretty much a main road in the Orlando Orange Blossom Trail. And it was a great experience, like having to get a physical spot, having to go after that dealer license, having to build relationships with the auctions, and they got to come by and see they're legit and not just some guy trying to go over there, because you got to have a dealer license to get cars at the auction,
right?
Which is what happens. And it was a great experience, especially at such a young age.
How old were you when you were doing this?
I was 20. into 21, right around there.
Wow.
Young.
Yeah.
Quite an
Very young.
education, right? That's just a
Yeah.
Fast track.
life lessons very quickly.
School of Life is what I like to say that I attended School of
Yeah,
Life. so
school of life,
it's-
graduate of school of life. So, and I forget, but how old are you now?
Now I'm 24.
Okay, so from between 21 and 24, you eventually make your way back up here.
Yeah, I moved here when I was 22. I came here to come check it out, scope it out. The dealership was long. It felt like a long time to me, but when I look back at it, it was short-lived. COVID came around and car shortages. As I like to say, as a dealer, you feel the difference first. You know, you can't just, hey, today this car is $9,000, tomorrow it's 15 because as soon as they make a profit on it.
Yeah.
While Joey down the street got this car last month at a good deal and his car is 9, and now I look like the bad guy selling for 15. So it takes a little bit of time for people for it to become common knowledge that car prices went up. So I just decided to take the little bit of money that I made and to just shut down the doors. What made the most sense.
Yep.
Instead of just bleeding out and starting from ground zero again. I wanted to get into real estate, but definitely wanted to come up here. You know, you get a commission out of the sale of the house, so I figure I'd rather go up north where the houses are more expensive.
Makes sense.
I sell one house there. It's probably the equivalent of selling 3-4 houses down in Orlando. At the
Yeah.
time, the houses there weren't blowing up yet, but so I just figured like it made more sense.
So you come up here alone.
All alone. Just went to a car auction the day before, moving up here. Got in the CRV and filled it up.
Back in the CRV.
Back in the CRV where it all started. But this one was a little bit newer, you know. Got in the CRV, loaded it up, and just hit the road.
Drove up here by yourself.
Drove up.
Do you have a place to stay? Or
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't quite familiar with the mass geography of where do I want to live, where do I want to be at. And so I just found a room on Facebook. It's like I'll just settle there until I figure it out where I want to be. Lots of trial and error. Lived in some areas that
you don't want to go back to.
I don't want to go back to, no. I don't want to go back to. Definitely a shock. But yeah, I mean, it was a great experience and it's what I like to do. I'm a free bird. I can't sit in an office. I like to be going out, doing things. I like to live. That's what I like to say. Is that I enjoy living life, and then that's a very good experience. And I fell in love with Massachusetts. Honestly, it was very tough at first, adjusting, getting settled in, and meeting people, making friends, not having any family, no nothing. But eventually, I decided to. As I was doing real estate, I decided to go into bartending. I was like, it'll be great. I'll meet people. I'll make some friends. I'll make relationships. It'll be great. And I think I made the best out of my Massachusetts experience. And now I'm here. Being behind the bar pretty much got me here to where I'm at right now. So
That's a lot. I love it. How's that for a nudge? The bar led you right here. I love it. I love it.
What bar?
I was at Mystique at Encore.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I was over there.
Good place to bartend.
I was gonna say.
Yeah, it's a good place to bartend. So now you're here. You've been here a week. We're excited to have you. How did you feel about the first week?
Felt great. I love the business model. I was just talking to Chris about this, that the most interesting to me is how crowd lending does business, asset based, not quite depending on income or credit scores. The beauty of it is that there's almost like a safety net for the borrower. Hey, look, if we approve you, it's because this deal has potential.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There's plenty of potential there.
Yeah, and that's actually a good way to look at it. And that's one of the things that you end up learning as you learn this business is you're actually saying no to a borrower, and you're trying to do the guy or the woman a favor. Say, hey, this isn't a good deal. Like, you're going to lose money in this deal, and here's why. And then they start to trust you a little bit, and now you become more of a partner for them, and they don't look at you as just a lender. They look at you like as a partner. So it's a good it's a good lens to look at it through. But we're excited to have you. I think your desire to go out and sort of live, as you like to say,
absolutely,
will be very advantageous in this business. We're going to give you the support system here, but at the end of the day, it's going to be up to you to sort of build your own business, and we're looking forward to see where it takes you.
Absolutely, I can't wait, man. Can't wait to go out there tomorrow and just start crushing it.
Start crushing it. I love it. So thanks for coming in. We appreciate it. For everybody out there, this is our last guest, first 5 guest podcast here at Crowd Lending. Be interested to see what our longtime listeners have to say. But we're back.
We're back.
We're back. So we will have, we are back, baby. We will have another podcast for you probably next week. I got a list of guests lined up all summer long, people looking for the podcast.
Around the building.
Let's go. We are back. And if anybody needs anything, you know where to find me because everybody needs a nudge. See ya. Thanks, Marco.
Thank you, Dan.
Keith, you're the best.
Danny.
Root beer. Bye.
Bye.
Bye. All right.